this panel. Before giving the floor to the panelists, I would like to introduce the purpose of these side events. Colombia and Western Sahara. We start with a video.
Well, we are talking about the role of youth in the promotion of peace, culture, knowing that in the same place, Western Sahara and Colombia, the youth they are facing knowing also that I feel a little bit pressure because I am trying to sell. Western Sahara is a past colony, a Spanish colony, and Spain shamefully left the territory without the other country of the world, but sadly they come back to refugee camps where they're there. So I'm coming here to a third alternative because the conflict in Western Sahara has left two alternative, or has been conflict, armed conflict, and also the second is the peaceful resistance who is lived until now in Western Sahara, specifically in occupied territory of Western Sahara. And the third alternative is not the one, or the first of our arguments is no guarantee. A little bit in '89, when Frank Polisario liberated 200 of the 4,000 military prisoners who the Polisario had, all the world is choked about it, that the king of Morocco refused to receive. Spell 7 years with another organization in the world, an international campaign to let those Moroccan citizens go back home. So what can Spanish Sahrawi people with the regime who treat their own citizens like that? I think nothing. So, but non-violence is based everywhere. Children can be part in this, women can be part in this, and also all people can be part in the struggle of non-violence. Going to share with you a little bit one from to know what is their rights and what is their duty to the case, to the struggle, and also aware the Sahrawi people to know.
The second part about the self-determination.
Que ha sido reconocida en la Constitución colombiana a los pueblos indígenas que viven en el Estado.
Is recognized in the Colombian Constitution and all indigenous people who are living under the state.
Antes de eso, me gustaría pasarles un fragmento de un video en 1990
where the young people in the 90s
que organizaron el movimiento social que permitió una constituyente en Colombia. Este video fue grabado en el 2015.
This video was shot in 2015.
Es decir, 25 años después de los hechos. Ya no son tan jóvenes, pero hablan sobre el futuro del país.
The protagonists of this action are not so young. So I will...
Un país que estaba sumido en bombas, en guerra, y nos dio una experiencia de paz. Creo que en temas fundamentales se cambió mucho el país, la tutela, los derechos económicos.
Para mí la séptima papeleta hace 25 años. Cada ciudadano tiene los mismos derechos, todas las ciudadanas debemos tenerla.
Acerca de la experiencia de la constituyente.
In this video we have these people that has made this initiative talking last year, 25 years later.
¿Por qué se organizaron estos jóvenes?
Why this young has organized. If you are interested, there will be a report that will be presented in the last week of this council.
Que como desafortunadamente saben los mexicanos, es un tipo de violencia que genera mucho dinero, muy fácil, muy rápido y corrompe bastante.
Internal and self-determination external.
Libre determinación externa tiene que ver con la posibilidad de tener un Estado independiente.
Self-determination external, self-determination is that you have the right to have some kind of status in a country, I mean independent state.
Mientras la libre determinación interna tiene que ver con manejar los asuntos internos dentro de un territorio, la salud, la justicia, el desarrollo económico.
Narcotraficants, especially the people the dealers of drugs,
ellos comenzaron a temer algo en los años 80.
They began to have some kind of fear in the 80s.
Algo llamado la Extradición.
They were afraid of something called extradition.
Sí, entonces era ser juzgado por la justicia norteamericana
They
y no
were
por la justicia colombiana.
Afraid that they can be judged by the American justice and not by the Colombian judge.
Y comenzaron a presionar al Estado y a la sociedad colombiana violentamente,
They began to make a lot of pressures on Colombia and the state of Colombia.
con coches
They
bombas,
began
con
to make
asesinatos.
judicial system, education, sanitation, etc.
No venía al caso.
The external self-determination is not in the case.
Lo que se acordó fue libre determinación interna.
What
Colombian lived and lives now. Thank you, Moimo, for your great translation. So we now going back to Western Sahara, and we pass to her Nazha Al-Khalidi.
My colleague Baba. So my name is Nazha. I'm from Western Sahara, the part which controlled by Morocco. First of all, I would like to share with you my personal experience with Moroccan government, which is not the only experience in Western Sahara, but we have many cases worse and worse. I was born in Laayoune, the capital of Western Sahara, and I think everyone knows very well what does it mean to be under occupation. I was arrested when I was 13 years old, so in 2005. In 2005, it was the beginning of the second intifada in the occupied territory. And the Moroccan in that time decided to bring thousands of military and police to stop the Sahrawi's peaceful struggle. And I was in secondary school. They brought more than 30 policemen to my school. So those policemen try all the time to prevent us as a students there just to be together, because in that time the students takes a big part in the peaceful struggle. We decided as students in my school to protest against those policemen who inside my school, and we organized a small demonstrations in front of my school. After 30 minutes, the police came and surrounded our protest and started to beating the peaceful demonstrators and the children. So they took me by their cars and they started to beating me from the place of demonstration until the prison. So they investigated me under torture.
I was thirsty. This doesn't exist. This didn't exist. So we had to wait for days. Some experiences we have to wait for days with only few water, and we had to share it between our neighbors. So in those moments, I started asking myself, is this Western Sahara? Is this my country? Then I started to refer to my colleagues. The thing I'm going to talk about is diaspora. And normally I try to be objective, but listening to that woman makes me feel so much emotions, so much touchable experiences that just force me to be me. So in this panel, I'm going to be me, so forgive me for being so much subjective. I'm going to talk about diaspora, but before being in diaspora, there is a long, long path I've passed through. And that path started with a girl that, when she was 4 years old, gathered us and who opened its doors for us because people had to run from the diaspora. Using the diaspora had to run from war because no one wanted to be killed. When I was 9, I had money. We love it with hearts. So the thing is that it wasn't easy getting first in Europe. Immigrants normally thinks you just came like flower, thinking like this is Europe, you're gonna have everything easy. just have a work, you will have university open for you. Well, no, I had to wait for 4 years in which I couldn't study and I couldn't work the things I really wanted to, but at the same time I couldn't forget fighting for my cause. So the things
Un minuto o dos, si acaso.
I want to make a small intervention, if you allow me.
En cuanto al papel de la juventud en la resolución pacífica de los conflictos,
In the paper of the young people,
esta es una cuestión estrechamente ligada con el papel encomendado a los organismos especializados
This is a paper that is commended to the special organizations or organisms in the United
y organizaciones del sistema de Naciones Unidas. Quiere decir, hay una vinculación estrecha
in the system of United Nations. So there is a strong
entre el papel
relationship
que le corresponde a la juventud y el papel de los organismos de Naciones Unidas.
to the role to the young people to fulfill a peaceful solution, and also a role to the United Nations to have a peaceful solution.
Y en lo que respecta al Sáhara Occidental como territorio no autónomo,
As you know,
los organismos de
Sahara-
Naciones Unidas
Western Sahara is non-autonomous territory, mister. It's not part of Morocco.
tienen una especial responsabilidad.
United Nations has a special responsibility on Western Sahara.
Tanto Naciones Unidas como tal, como los organismos especializados y las organizaciones del sistema de Naciones Unidas, incluido este Consejo de Derechos Humanos.
All the United Nations organisms are concerned. Even this place where you are now, I mean the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, are concerned.
Por tanto, y en consecuencia, el Consejo y demás organismos especializados no pueden transferir unilateralmente las responsabilidades que les conciernen en relación a los territorios no autónomos.
United Nations and these organisms of United Nations cannot transfer their responsibilities of the territories non-autonomous like this.
Y en
They must
especial,
have a peaceful solution for this
y en
conflict.
especial las resoluciones de la Asamblea General del ECOSOC y los constantes llamamientos de la Secretaría General en apoyo a los territorios no autónomos.
Especially the resolutions of United Nations that are calling for finding a peaceful solution to this conflict, and also the resolutions that are concerned to non-autonomous territories. I mean, Western Sahara is non-autonomous territory. It's not the southern part of Morocco.
Insisto, el Sáhara Occidental
The Sahara, Western
es el
Sahara,
único territorio no autónomo que no tiene una potencia administradora.
Western Sahara is the only non-autonomous territory that has no administrative power. It's the only one. You can find it in the list of the page of United Nations. It's not part of Morocco.
Y esa órfana
2 minutes. We just have 2 minutes.